Really important point he makes about these 2 points of what? The thing of appetite and anger. He said it's appetite and anger that principally inform your will. That's a brilliant point, man. You've got to think about what he's saying there. That is so powerful, because that's what makes them so important as well. In that they give you the will to do something. You know, like the will to exercise is because you've got an appetite to do it, right? And the other one is if you're feeling disagreed about something, you've got the appetite to stop it. So what do? They steer a will in ourselves to do something. That's why if you wake up, you're not going to come to you waking up, oh, it's cold, I don't want to go outside, Saturday morning, time to lie and all that business here, right? Now what's that saying? I don't want to come to a class or whatever. You are now being complicit to your appetite. And it takes your will of knowing that, no, I'm not going to be contented with that. You see? You have to go with, you have to fight, you have to use your will. And that is why, when he talks about this aspect of will, the second type, which he now goes on to explain as the actual limbs, you know, like the ligaments, we've already kind of spoke of them as soldiers. He says that's the power. Because he's saying what? It's the will that is within, is being processed within you, is then reflected in the power of the function of your limbs. Because your limbs then follow on from what you have constructed in yourself to be an act you want to will. You want to will the act, and then these things like your limbs become subjugated to what you're willing. This is all from Allah. This isn't you doing it, you know, these are gifts from Allah. And this is why, if we're aware of that, it says so much when you say, oh, I can't get up, bro. I can't get up. What do you mean you can't get up? No. It's because you haven't conceived or perceived what you're trying to do to be important enough to make you exercise the will to get up. That's what it means. There's no reason you can't get up. The only reason is really what it is that you haven't yet processed the gravity of what you want to do to make it something you want to will. So that's another thing about it, is what you make important. When you start making things important, it will be governed by your desire to will that. And when you don't make things important, then you're just going to do what you know. But it all comes back into that principal thing, desire and appetite. That's what every decision you make is coming from a place like this. Your appetite for it, and the term anger here, guys, like I tried to qualify, is a driving motive. So he uses appetite towards the things you want to obtain, and anger is the things you want to steer away from. You know, like as a word, he's using it as a word that gives you the will to ward it off. So that's why, if you look in Muslim history, you look at ourselves, you look at Muslims, we're the most phenomenally productive people. Phenomenally productive people. Because they recognized these kind of awarenesses, they had these kind of understandings, right? And then you put that understanding next to what? Temporality of existence. You're only here for a short time. You're trying to what? You're trying to get the best you can for what is going to be an eternal outcome. And in that time you're here, you're trying to get to know what is really true, what it means to be truly alive. And that's to know that which is infinite, that which is absolute. And we all have a love, and we all have a steering to knowing that which is infinite. That's part of the fitra description. That's what fitra gives us, right? Fitra gives us this. That's why it's so sad, and it becomes really sad when we see Muslims, particularly Muslims, when they're lazy. It really is sad. You know, in this culture now, it's such an accepted feature. Oh, you can just be lazy. And you know what amazes me? You know so many lazy people and they say they're so busy. That's remarkable.